Go ahead.
Today is Thursday, March 19th, 2026. We are on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization. We'll be hearing petition number 2025-032 for parcel number 34637-130002000, represented by Hannah Oliver, who is not in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Clayton Johnson, who is in attendance. Please silence your cell phones and note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is open.
Can I go now? Okay. The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. Reminder, this relates to the assessed value of your property, not to your property taxes. The Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Breakbill as chair, Jerry Gingrich vice chair, and Marge Steinmetz as member. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. Does the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
Okay, well, since there's no appellant, I guess you're going to go first.
Awesome. So the subject is a, 1,693 square foot office building on a 3,665 square foot commercially zoned lot in Ephrata. On page 7, you will find that the subject was not market adjusted. However, the subject itself was purchased on 3/31/2022 for $150,000. The subject was in an inspection cycle this year and was physically inspected. At that time, it was determined that the building was in average condition, with the interior finish being in good condition based off permits for remodel. Effective age was adjusted to reflect the condition, which resulted in a rise in value. We are asking the board to sustain the current assessed value at land $14,660, building $130,266, for a total assessed value of $144,926.
Any questions for me, Marge? That's it.
This concludes the Grant County BOE hearing. The board will review all the information provided and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Good morning. Today is Thursday, March 19th, 2026, and we are on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization. We will be hearing petition number 2025-038 for parcel number 29441-120099000, represented by Carrie and Barbara Garvey, who are in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Clayton Johnson, who is in attendance. Please silence your cell phones and note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is opened.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. As a reminder, this relates to the assessed value of your property, not your property taxes. Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Breakbill, Jerry Gingrich as vice chair, and Marge Steinmetz as a member. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. Do both the appellant and the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
Okay. The appellant will go first and present testimony, then will be followed by the assessor's office. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm Barbara Garvey, and this is Carrie Garvey, my husband, and we're here to dispute the amount of the increase in our property taxes. And have you guys had this? Did you get this? Okay, so everyone has read it. So in Moses Lake, our property went up $137,000 which is a 32% increase. And we find that that significantly exceeds the market activity for comparable properties in our neighborhood. And recently, there was a house sold in October, and it's on 1396 Fairway Drive, and it sold for $488,000. It's 2,200 square feet, which is slightly larger than our home. And then 4 doors down from ours, there's a current active listing, and that house is 2,400 square feet, and it's listed at $419,900. So, and you have ours at $560,651. We have 1,966 square feet, and we only have 2 bedrooms. So we have 1 large room, and then we have 2 bedrooms. There have been no improvements, remodels to our property, so we find that to be excessive. And what we're requesting is that you consistently look at the market value of our home with others. And if you look at the second page right here, so I went through the neighborhood to see other people's increases. These are all in Fairway Drive on the golf course.
Was that submitted, ma'am?
Yes. So do you have it in front of you?
I'm trying to pull it up. Do you know what page it is of your?
Well, it's dated 2/13/26. It's 3? Did you have that one?
It's page 40 on the PDF though.
Yeah.
We've got everything combined into one file.
Okay.
Trying to get there.
Appeal and Clayton's response, then there was more evidence from them after his response.
No, there it is right there.
You have it?
Yep.
Okay. So when you look at uniformity and fairness, you have your RCW and your WAC. RCW 8440-030, WAC 458-12-355. Properties of the same class are required to be assessed uniformly and at true and fair market value. And that's what we're contesting here. Our current Zillow shows our house at $477,700. But if you go through here as far as uniformity and being fair, you look at the differences on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 13 homes on our street. The first one went up 22,000. The next one went up 19,000. This is from the old value to the new value. Then we have a home that didn't go up at all. And then the next one went down 82,784. The next one went up 15,000. The next one 18. The next one 19. The next one 14. The next one went down 38. The next one went down 76. The next one was 14. It went up 14. The next one went up.
Okay, we've got it, so you don't need to read all
I'm
that.
making a point.
All right,
My point is that the average of these, and I threw out the zeros and those that went down, is 18,000. So why ours went up to 137,329 is very questionable. And we purchased our house in 2019 for $350,000. Then if you look down here at the interesting taxable value, which I really question how the county comes up with this. These homes sold, and you can see 2021, 2022, and 2024, and they currently aren't even listed at the price that they sold their house. Or excuse me, what they bought their house for. So they bought their house and it isn't even at the current value. And we are way over the value in our home. So I just find it interesting that a house could sell for $392,000 in 2021. Its taxable value is $355,000. Another one, Eagle Drive, is just the next street. So we're on number 3 and they're on hole number 4. Their house, they bought it in 2021 for $710,000. Their new taxable value is $671,581. The next one, they bought their house in 2022 for $500. Their taxable value is $459,450. The next one, they purchased it in 2024 for $545, and theirs is $445,891. That doesn't look like uniformity or fairness. How you can buy a house way back then and not even have it 5 years later at the current value doesn't make any sense. So I think the county has a huge problem. And I don't think they're fair. And I think it's, Zillow shows our house, like I said, now it's 470. And how you came up with 560, I have no idea. I don't know why that's fair.
Anything else? You can have rebuttal at the end.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and address the additional evidence here in some of the points that the appellant stated here. The columns that were used on, that were provided with this additional evidence, they were after our cutoff date for this assessment year. The assessment date is 1/1 of 2025. So sales that happen later in the year of 2025 aren't considered for that assessment year. They will be considered for the following assessment year, but one sold in October 2025, which is significantly after that, and one is an active listing. So an active listing isn't a good indicator of the market because it hasn't sold, so it's not a market transaction. So and as far as page 2, all of these assessed values, we can't consider assessed values when looking at the subject because we don't know, these houses here, what are their components, what are their, I see their square footage here, but these aren't transactions, these aren't sales. So there's no way for me to know the exact components of those houses, the quality, condition. There could be so many factors with those houses. So we don't look at assessed values when comparing, when valuing the subject. Now, as for my response on page number, looks like it's 7. I'm not sure that it's actually numbered, but you'll see a sales comparison grid here. And what that is the sales used for market adjustments in the subject neighborhood. And these sales are adjusted to match the components of the subject. And down there at the bottom, you'll see an average adjusted value of $529,755. That is going to be our new recommended value. Also, on page 6 here, you'll see the following sales comparison grid shows the sales of used for market adjustments in the subject neighborhood. Sales are adjusted based on features of the home to match the features of the subject property. The average adjusted market value is $529,755. The appellant has listed 4 sales in their petition. Sale A is comparable 2 in that sales grid, and sale B is comparable 1 in the sales comparison grid. Sales C and D were not used as they were used for different market adjustments based on square footage. When added to the sales comparison grid, they did support our recommended value as well. With that, we are asking the board to adjust the current assessed value with a land value of $80,000, a building structure value of $449,755 for a total assessed value of $529,755.
Okay. Ma'am, do you have any? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, what?
Do you have anything else?
Can I say something?
Sure.
Well, the gentleman stated that on these comparisons that we came up with, they didn't know the conditions of the properties or the interiors, anything. Well, they don't know ours either. Our house could be rat infested and they wouldn't know the difference, or it could be gold plated. there's no way they can know that. So his statement there, to me, is totally bogus.
Because they didn't come out to the house.
Okay.
And again, our house is only 2 bedrooms, which doesn't make it as desirable. So it's one of the smaller houses on the golf course. It's more like a condo,
Okay.
but it is a house and it is on the course. But my big deal really is that it is not done fairly. And I think this proves it is not done fairly at all. And
When
that
all of these homes on our street go up an average of 20,000, and ours goes up 137,000, this is a board of equalization, and that's not equal.
And then when you have homes on our street in our area that still aren't up to what they paid for their house 5 years ago. So how are they doing their job correctly? I don't think that they are. So
Okay.
just,
Did you hear the adjustment that's been made?
it's not enough.
Okay.
Zillow has our house at 470 something. I'm not sure exactly. But I just don't, it's supposed to be fair and they're not being fair.
Did you, when you received your assessment, did you go in and talk to them about this?
Well, I came in, yeah, we did, and that's why we filled out the
So-
first paperwork.
But did you actually discuss it with them, why the amounts were what they were?
No, because they just said we have to fill out the form, submit the form, then you'll set up an appointment.
Okay.
And so then we
didn't
got
have the
that letter.
opportunity at that time to submit anything.
Well, and-
So this is the first
I'm
time
not-
we've talked with anyone.
But they can't go in and just change the numbers.
Right.
But you could have gone in and talked to them and had them explain everything, give you a little, much further detail on why they did what they did.
Once you filled out the first form.
Yeah,
Then
once you're past
they have the time to get in and look at what you're saying, and then they can respond to your questions. And that's.
They
Speak to the
didn't tell
one
us
person.
anything like that.
Well,
We
I
met
took-
with her when we
She's-
came in.
She's
and-
with the board of
She's with the Board of
equalization.
Equalization,
She's not
with the.
Okay, well, we went downstairs first to, to tell them what we were concerned about, and they immediately just sent us upstairs. They didn't let us talk to anyone. They said, you need to go upstairs.
I did
We've
talk
never
to
done this
someone
before.
later, and he gave me this, I won't call it a spiel, about comparable homes being sold and all that. And that time it didn't make sense. And it was a very brief, short conversation. And that's the only time we've spoken to anybody prior to this.
Okay.
Our understanding was we needed to fill out the paperwork, then an appointment would be set up, which was this, and that we had, 18 days to submit more information, which we've done. And then I looked
She went
into
through
more.
a lot of work.
Okay, that doesn't matter. It's
Absolutely.
just been appalling is all I can say. It's so off the chart and so unfair. And especially when I look at my neighbors down here, if I bought my house for 710,000 5 years ago, and today I'm only paying 671, gee, they've been lucking out, haven't they, for 5 years? Why the county doesn't, when they record the deed, at that point, why don't they record the sale? And why isn't that the true value of the home at that time? Someone paid the price.
Okay.
So I don't think you'd have a lot of
That's
these
the true
disputes.
market value.
Okay.
At that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you gotta remember, it changes every year. The market.
I know,
changes.
but these
Homes
houses-
have not gone down in the last 5 years out there especially.
Absolutely.
They've
I'm
gone
not
up.
defending them. Please don't take it that way.
Okay.
I'm not defending them. Just,
No,
there's
we're
a lot
just-
more to it than just
Yeah.
this.
Certainly.
So we're just, we're upset about, it doesn't appear the Grant County's assessor office has been totally following the above WAC or the RCW with all properties in Grant County. Now, how could one have 0? He has 0, which is interesting. He has 0. The next one went down 82. Both of those are attorneys.
I can
So did
hit
they-
a golf ball to their house from ours.
But, and what house on the golf course, the new value is 369,000? There isn't one. So my big point is, until they straighten this out, it becomes fair. Then maybe you should look at Zillow and at least I think they're doing a better job than the county's doing right now. At least, and it changes all the time, but
And to me, Zillow is an asking price. It's something that somebody's going to pay necessarily.
well, do you think someone's gonna pay what he's saying, what he's basing it on? He doesn't even come out to the house, at least, what can I say? I just think they're completely out of line. I don't think it's fair that we're looking at a 32% increase.
Okay.
That's my bottom line.
Okay, anything else?
So what's the next step?
I would
Give him a
like
chance.
to address the condition and not coming out to the house part. In the petition, there isn't anything that indicates that there's any conditional issues. Typically, if there's something in there that says, you know, we have X, Y, Z wrong with the house, then we will set up an appointment. Everything in the petition was in regards to market value and assessed values of other properties. That doesn't tell me, okay, we need to come out and do a physical inspection. Again, we can't, with page 2 in here, and a lot of what the conversation has been about is assessed values, and we cannot consider assessed values when looking at market value for this subject. So I just wanted to be clear that the reason we didn't go out is because there wasn't any indication that said that we needed to go out to this property. When we inspect properties in an inspection cycle, we do not go inside. So we may not know the condition of the subject. We may not know the condition inside of the sales. That can be said for everything. But unless something indicates that there is conditional issue, then we will consider it as it is. So.
It would be impossible for you to go
Direct
into every home.
any conversation to us. Go ahead.
I'm
However,
just saying it would be impossible for them to go into every home. Our home has no conditions, no problems.
however, this was our first letter that told us what the new amount is. And it says all property in Grant County is revalued every year to reflect true and fair value. Now, I don't believe,
Address us.
okay, well, I don't believe that's happening.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm sorry, I just am,
All
I
right.
don't think the office is doing a very good job.
I don't know if you guys would like to clarify the valuation every year. We do value properties every year, statistically value based on the market every year. Once every 6 years, physically inspected. The subject wasn't physically inspected. It was not in reevaluation this year. So it was strictly valued statistically.
So there are 6 different areas in the county. And every 6th year, your area gets reevaluated. In other words,
Physically.
they physically come out and look. So every 6th year, and then all they're going to use on those other 5 years, correct me if I'm wrong, is the sales in the area.
Okay, well, how did one have 0?
Can I finish? That are comparable sales and look, or are as close as they can make to yours. Okay?
Well, I think a 32% increase is astronomical, not fair. And how somebody else gets 0, I would like you to explain that, really. How did they get 0 when I got an increase? And their house is
Ma'am,
1900.
Again, address us,
Okay.
and secondly, you're talking specifics, and he'd have to go back and go into, you can talk to him afterwards and discuss whatever you want, but asking him why it's 0 for one right now is impossiable. Okay?
We've never done this before.
Well,
We've
I
never had to
understand,
do
I
it
understand,
before.
I'm just trying to clarify for you.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else?
I guess what's the next step?
Again, we'll make our decision. You'll get the decision in the mail 45 days, within 45 days, okay? And then your options are to go to the Board of
Tax appeals.
in
So what
Olympia.
kind of a decision do you make?
We listen to the information and
We rule on this case.
rule on this case,
It's just cool.
okay? Do you have anything else? Okay.
Apologize for that. It's just been a little upsetting.
No, I
Completely
get it. No,
understand.
we understand. It's-
We have the similar issues.
I'd like to tell you my story, but it's not worth the effort, so go ahead. As far as I'm concerned, unless you have anything else, we're good to go.
Nothing else from me.
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all the information provided, and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Good morning. Today is Thursday, March 19th, 2026, and we are on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization. We'll be hearing petition number 2025-041 for parcel number 32895-121126219, represented by Gary and Michelle Kamert, who are in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Clayton Johnson, who is in attendance. Please silence your cell phones and note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is opened.
The hearing today is regarding a true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. A reminder, this relates to the assessed value of your property, not to your property taxes. Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is myself, Jim Brayfield as chair, Jerry Gingrich as vice chair, and Marge Steinmetz as a member. We've reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. Do both the appellant and the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Both of you are going to testify?
Yes.
Okay. Appellant will go first and present any testimony, then will be followed by the appraiser. So go ahead.
One thing we noticed was the size of the house was reevaluated and the price of the assessed value was not reduced at all. The house has an ADU unit in it, and in the sketchings, it shows it as one complete house. There's also a shop which is not complete at all. It has sand floors, no garage doors, not painted. Has one light, has one plug-in. Sorry, I'm very nervous.
You're fine. So what she's saying, that the house, the square footage of the house is the entire house, and they came out and remeasured the house and found it was wrong. So, but the price of the value never changed. The actual, because it has the ADU unit in it, the ADU unit is like 500 square feet, and the living quarters, which that's my mother-in-law's side, and then so our living quarters, the square footage is only like 1,400. You know, of course, you measure the outside, it comes out different, but the drawing when we was building the house, I think it was like 1,495 was supposed to be our square footage, and then the ADU unit was going to be like 500 square feet. And so between the two, that got us up over the 2,000 square feet for the house.
Also, the ADU unit only has a refrigerator in it, has no stove, anything
Yeah.
like that.
And then,
Also, the comps that were provided are basically right on the lake. We're in a little inlet. We have
well,
bush,
they call it
right?
waterfront. We don't really have waterfront. We have water access because we are on the little inlet in on the lake. So we have was it bulrush growing all in there.
Which we provided pictures of.
Yeah, I don't think I can get my boat in this year because the bulrush is growing so much in there. If I do, it's going to be real tight getting in. It's very shallow, and so like at this point right now, there is no water there except for the puddles of the rain that we got through the winter.
It only gets 3 feet deep, if that.
Yeah, about 2.5 to 3 feet deep is all we ever get, depending on what the level of the lake is. And so what we look at out our back to where the water is basically a big hillside that goes up, and then on top was an open land up there, and the guy who owns that is now, well, now we look at a big gravel pit because he's digging it out to build a house. And so we would like to be, we'd like to change the, the value of our house isn't what the office was saying, and they were looking at other homes that are, the value of those when they were done, that was years ago, and so the prices, the market's not the same as it was back then. Is where we were headed.
Anything else?
I don't think so. Other than, like I said, the comps aren't similar to our house. One of them is a log cabin, which isn't even close to our house, even similar to our house. And like I said, they all have water access or water front.
Yeah, the log cabin she's talking about actually sits on a point.
That's comp one.
And so, I mean, he's got a very nice view of the whole lake, basically. The other ones that are there, the only one that's close is this, which one is this one? Yeah, so I think it was,
But he still has more waterfront than we do and is able to get a boat in. He has a boat launch.
yeah, he has a boat launch and a complete, a shop building that's complete, and we're being evaluated to be like him, and we're not. So,
Let me ask a question real quick before I let the assessor speak. Did you make any effort to talk to the assessor's office during the time once you received your evaluation?
Yeah, he called him.
Okay,
I
okay,
called him, I came down here, went into the office, and then he came, we went to, upstairs to some office up there, and I had to fill out a form.
talk to her.
Okay, that's where I saw it. And, then, what's his name? The assessor guy.
The,
Was it you that came to my house?
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
Oh.
okay, so he came and measured the house and changed the square footage a little bit.
Right.
So,
So I'll go ahead and touch on the few things here that the appellant was stating. The square footage change, as the appellant did say, we did go out there. There was a slight change in the square footage, so that was corrected. The reason it's not showing on the market value is because the market value is still supported by the sales, regardless of the slight change in square footage, the market value is still supported. And I have updated it. It's updated in the response here, and it's updated in the sales comparison grid as well. So I did notice when I was looking at this sales comparison grid that there is a typo. I hit a 9 instead of a 6 here. So the square footage should be 2,116. I have it as 2,119. I did put down here the difference there. The average is 777,090 instead of 385. So not still supporting the value that we had as the assessed value. And the waterfront, this has been kind of a point of discussion because the subject does have less desirable per se water frontage. But as a Bellen did mention, Comp 2 is, as seen on the neighborhood map there, you can see Comp 2 has that same waterfront issue per se as the subject. And that parcel sold for $850,000. Now it does have the completed shop, but it has been adjusted for in the sales comparison grid there. The shop that is on the subject parcel is not being valued currently. It is not completed. It's still in construction, so we haven't put a value on there. It's there, but it's not sealed. It doesn't meet the criteria for being put on for value yet. So those are the two issues there. So with that, we are asking the board to sustain the current assessed value at land, $109,800, building $630,646 for a total assessed value of $740,446.
Any rebuttal?
Well, I did this last year, the assessed value, and we rated the whole property at 630. And so now I'm here again this year, and they're, he's saying the value's up more.
It's gone up $100,000.
Now that
That's-
house, that house
Seems a
that
little
is, that sold for $850, it sold back a couple of years ago when the market was good. The other thing is, we have a house right next door to us that is got a really nice yard, it has the same water issue. The house is big, they have a big shop building, they have I think it's like a 1,500 square foot apartment upstairs and everything. And she was trying to sell it, and 2 years now, she's been trying to sell the house. And it never did sell, and she had dropped her price down, and she was down to like 900. And it still did not sell the house. And so now she's just kind of dropped the ball and said, now she's renting the house out to somebody because the market's just not letting her sell. And their house, it is a very nice done up yard.
It's fully manicured, and his
Yeah.
comp two is also a fully manicured yard. The house has high-end things inside it. And it has better water access than ours does.
Yeah.
It's not, he is on the other side of the weeds. We have the weeds.
And so our weeds they're just growing into each other. So
Okay, anything else?
I think that's it for
That's
now.
Any rebuttal?
No, I think we've
Okay,
covered it all.
okay.
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all the information provided, and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Going. Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, March 19th, 2026, and we are on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization for the afternoon administrative hearings. The first one is petition number 2025-023 for parcel number 32988-121126456, represented by Michael Miner, who is not in attendance. The assessor's office this afternoon is represented by Clayton Johnson, who is in attendance. For the duration of the hearings, please silence your cell phones and note that these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the administrative hearings are open.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. Reminder, this relates to the assessed value of your property, not your property taxes. Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is myself, Jim Brakeville as chair, Jerry Gingrich as vice chair, Mark Steinmetz as a member. We have reviewed all evidence by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. Since there's no appellant, does the assessor's representative swear the testimony about to give us the truth?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is a 2,855 square foot, one-story single-family residence and 2 tool sheds on a 46,174 square foot residential lot in Moses Lake. On page 6, the following sales comparison grid shows the sales used for market adjustments in the subject neighborhood. The sales are adjusted based on features of the home to match the features of the subject property. The average adjusted market value is $702,033. The appellant states that real estate assessors indicate a lesser value. However, nothing has been provided to indicate that. The subject sold in 2021 for $526,000. However, according to the sales comparison grid, which contain the most recent sales, market conditions appear to have changed. Therefore, we are asking the board to sustain the current assessed value at land $40,000, building and structure $625,803, for a total assessed value of $665,803.
Questions?
I wish they provide evidence. No.
Mark? No. Okay. We'll go on to the next one.
Our next petition is petition number 2025-036 for parcel number 5177-0216888255, represented by Stephen and Kelly Ladwig, who are not in attendance. Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
This subject is a 1,188 square foot double wide manufactured home and a 2,592 square foot shop on a 41,382 square foot residential lot in Desert Air. Moving on to page 6, the following, I'm not going to read that over again. The sales comparison grids on the following page. The average adjusted market value is $418,032. The appellant has provided 4 sales of comparable properties. However, none of the sales were used for market adjustments, as all 4 were after our cutoff date for the assessment year. Sale D was added as comparable 4, and sale C was added as comparable 5, as these were closest to the cutoff date of 4/30/2025. With that, we're asking the board to sustain the current assessed value at land value, $98,000, building and structures, $298,801, for a total assessed value of $396,801.
Questions?
I do not.
Mark?
Our next petition is number 2025-052, parcel number 28807-111888516, represented by James and Gail Kirkpatrick, who are not in attendance. Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
All right, the subject is a 3,389 square foot, 1-story, single-family residence on a 35,086 square foot shallow laguna lot in Moses Lake. The sales comparison grid found on page 8 supports an average adjusted value of $1,289,285. Comparable 1 was used for market adjustments of the subject property based on similar square footage. Comparables 2, 3, and 4 were added to the grid as they have the same land type as the subject, which is shallow laguna. As seen in the sales comparison grid, the most comparable sale is comparable 1, which was used for market adjustments and has been given the most weight. The other comparables have the same land type, however, more adjustments based on differences in square footage. The appellant has listed 1 property in their petition, however, did not include a sales price or date. The last time that property sold was in 2018, which is outside the time frame for this assessment year. With that, we're asking the board to sustain a current assessed value at land, $160,000, building, $1,072,301, for a total assessed value of $1,232,301.
Okay. Questions?
I have no questions.
Our next petition is number 2025-060 for parcel number 5381-021688502, represented by William Lamar and Jody Gowdy, who are not in attendance. Chair?
The subject is a 1,826 square foot, 1-story, single-family residence on a 28,750 square foot residential lot in Desert Air. Page 6, the following sales are vacant residential land in the subject neighborhood. The subject is currently valued at $4.97 per square foot. The following sales comparison grid on page 7 shows the sales used for market adjustments. The average adjusted market value is $729,680. That is my new recommended value. The appellant has provided 4 sales of comparable properties. However, sale B was past the cutoff date for the assessment year, and sales A, C, and D were used in market adjustments for other properties based on differences in year built. When input into a sales comparison grid, the sales that the appellant provided supported a higher value than what is being recommended. Therefore, we are asking the board to adjust the current assessed value to land $143,000, building $586,680 for a total assessed value of $729,680.
Sherry? No questions. Marge? Okay.
Next petition is number 2025-065 for parcel number 32981-121126449, represented by Charles and Melissa Garcia, who are not in attendance. Mr. Chair.
Okay, go ahead.
The subject is a 2,607 square foot, one-story single-family residence on a 73,616 square foot residential lot in Moses Lake. The following comparison grid on page 7 shows the sales used for market adjustments in the subject neighborhood. The average adjusted market value is $630,929. The appellant has listed 4 sales in her petition. However, none of the sales were used in market adjustments due to being after the cutoff date for the current assessment year. Therefore, we're asking the board to sustain the current assessed value at land $50,000, building and structure $507,434 for a total assessed value of $557,434.
Marge? Sherry? Okay.
All right. Next petition is number 2025-077 for parcel number 31276-120687000, represented by James and Judy Nelson, who are not in attendance. Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
The subject is a 1,406 square foot, one-story single-family residence on a 22,489 square foot waterfront lot in Moses Lake. Sales comparison grid on page 7 shows the sales used for market adjustments in the subject neighborhood. The average adjusted market value is $798,072. The appellant states that the home is original and in need of updating. That has been reflected in the effective age as seen in the sales comparison grid. With that, we're asking the board to sustain the current assessed value at $140,000 for the land, building and structure value $386,976 for a total assessed value of $526,976.
Marge? Okay.
All right. Last petition is number 2025-081 for parcel number 8977-041610000, represented by Charles and Deborah Graff, who are not in attendance. Mr. Chair.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, the subject is a 1,404 square foot, one-story single-family residence on a 9,042 square foot residential lot in Quincy. Page 7 of sales comparison grid shows the sales used for market adjustments in the subject neighborhood. The average adjusted market value is $418,501. Therefore, we are asking the board to sustain the current assessed value at land $51,200, building $359,358 for a total assessed value of $410,558.
Okay. Mark? Okay. All right.
All right.
I do have a question before we go off the record. The last one was 2025-0771.
Nope, the one that we just heard
Yeah.
was 081.
No, the one prior to that,
77.
0771.
Oh, I think it was just when the PDF got transferred over. No, it should just be 077.
Okay,
Because
all right.
That very first one had a 1 behind it too.
Okay,
Are we even off record?
I think so.
Okay, I just want to say something on the record here. I want to commend Caitlin because doing this shotgun start, whatever you want to call it, administrative hearings, I think it went excellent. And I want to say nice job.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
It'll save, we don't care about the assessor's office. I'm kidding. We want to save time for everybody, so yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you. Go ahead.
My goodbye spiel.
Yeah.
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization administrative hearings. The board will review all the information provided and board orders stating their decisions will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board orders.